Right, desperate times call for desperate measures. Hello everyone and welcome to Big Friendly Grub. I hope you are well and welcome to Gadget testing video number 3, I think it is. You could count the rotisserie machine that I did a couple of weeks ago, but technically that was a standalone thing and kind of a recipe video as well. Whereas this is going to be another video where I'm going to be testing a bunch of gadgets, and I'm really looking forward to this because I really enjoy these videos. They're a lot of fun, so I'm not going to bore you with a big intro, lucky you. So I really just want to get straight into the gadget testing, so let's get started. So you may have seen on the channel a little while ago that I did a video where I delved into an odd box. Odd box are a company that basically sends you surplus fruit and veg that may have otherwise gone to waste, that supermarkets don't want to take for one reason or another, whether it's surplus, the wrong shape or size and things like that. And I'm still getting those boxes now, and they are really useful. I've been getting a lot of mileage out of them. They've been sending me some really nice stuff. But in my last couple of boxes, I've had some things off of them that I've not been able to use quite as easily and a little bit hard to get into. And those are these. Coconuts. I've got 2 coconuts and a pineapple. Now the pineapple's not too much of a problem really. You could take a knife to it. But I thought this was a perfect opportunity to try out a gadget to try and get into this a lot easier and try and slice this up nicely. And coconuts are notoriously a pain to get into because they're all hairy, they're very hard, and they're just a pain in the butt to get into. So I've got a gadget for that as well. So I'm going to try and get into these, and then I'm going to try and use these just up to try and make a cake or something because it seems like a good idea. Pineapple and coconut go together so well because they're both tropical flavours, so they seem fantastic to go into a cake. So to get into my coconut, I am going to try out this stainless steel coconut knife. See, stainless steel coconut knife. It's a very generic knife. It's from China. There's no specific brand on it, but it was the most affordable one that I could find on Amazon, basically, that had decent reviews. I could have got like a more branded one, but it was more expensive, and they all kind of look the same, so I thought I'd go for the most affordable one. I'll see how it works. It looks kind of lethal from the box. Let's crack into it and have a look, see what it looks like. Oh, there we go. That does look kind of, yeah, that looks like kind of like an offensive weapon. But I don't think it's too sharp or anything. The idea is it's supposed to help you carve around the inside of the flesh to help it take it out of its, basically it's like hairy outer shell, I suppose. But I'm going to see if it will help me kind of like get into the coconut itself, see if it will help me break it open as well. I don't know if it's multi-purpose. There are other things that will help you get into coconuts, but this is kind of the thing I want to try and help me get around this hairy outer shell to try and get into the meat in the middle so I can make it into a cake. Right, I've got my coconut in a bowl because obviously these contain coconut water, so if I do get into this, it's going to go everywhere. So first things first, I'm going to see if this is actually any good for trying to perhaps get a hole into the coconut to see if I can get into the water. It seems quite dense, the coconut, because obviously it's a coconut, but that does seem to be kind of drilling into the shell a bit. I mean, you could use a normal knife, but I wouldn't want to use any of my knives to try and get into a coconut. Let's try one of these other ones. Here we go. That's a bit of a larger hole. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh yeah, that's kind of got into there now. That's kind of worked. That was quite a small hole, but that larger one I've managed to actually get into. See, the water's actually coming out of that now. That's pretty cool. Let's see if that's gotten fat enough to get the actual water out of it. Yeah, it's kind of coming out. I'm going to need to sieve this water because it's all kinds of bits and pieces in it, but it is coming out. There we go, that's all the water out of there. That's kind of worked. It's not the best thing for it, but it does do the job. Now, will it help me crack into my coconut? Is it sturdy enough to kind of like break through this? It's not really sturdy enough to break through the coconut. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to do the job for actually breaking into it. I might have to use the back of one of my not so nice knives. Oh, this coconut does not want to break. How the heck am I going to get into this thing? Right, desperate times call for desperate measures. Got a hammer. This doesn't get in, nothing will. Oh my God, this thing is invincible. Should make tanks out of these. Oh, it's finally cracking. Jesus Christ. Right, it's got a crack in it. I'm going in. Finally! Jesus wept. That was far more effort than it should have been. Obviously that's definitely not suitable for actually cracking into the coconut. Yeah, I had to use an actual hammer to crack through that. But I'm into the coconut now, and this is actually more designed for getting around the edge of the coconut. So let's actually see if it can do that. Oh, yeah, that's kind of, there we go. It's cracking away the shell now. This is more like it. There we go. There. That was a lot less painful than trying to crack into the coconut. Let's try and get the other half away. I mean, it doesn't feel like the safest thing in the world, but it is doing the job. Slowly. There we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. You've got to be really, really careful, because if you slip, then you could have a nasty accident. But it has enabled me to get in to the coconut, which is the, well, I say get into the coconut, it's allowed me to take the outer shell away. So I think that's the key thing for it. That's the main thing that you need to use it for, is just getting away that outer shell, which it is good for. It's also helped me get into the holes of it, but for breaking into the actual coconut, it's no good at all. Yeah, but considering I had to use a hammer to actually get into the coconut, I'm not going to hold that against it. So for actually, yeah, getting away the outer shell, that was pretty good. A little bit hazardous, but that could just be cack-handed user error on my part, which is quite likely. But that wasn't bad, it's quite useful. Now I know why there's water in coconuts, because you're bloody parched by the time you get into them. Cheers. It's not that nice straight out of the coconut. Anyway, now that the coconut's done and I've got all the meat out of them and shredded it up in my food processor, that's going to be going into my cake shortly, but I need another ingredient for it, which I mentioned earlier, and that would be my pineapple. And I'm hoping this is going to be a heck of a lot easier to get into. One, because it hasn't got a ruddy hard shell on it, and two, I've got this gadget. It is the Tomorrow's Kitchen pineapple slicer and wedger. And you can see it's pretty much going to do what it says on the, well, not tin, but packet. And it's got this serrated edge here, and the idea is that you're going to be able to put it down and twist it down through the pineapple and hopefully get some nice slices out of it. It's got this wedger on it as well, which I'll probably use once, but I'm not going to want wedges for my cake. I want rings, and that's what hopefully this is going to give me. So let's give it a go. Ooh. Right, I've got my pineapple. I'm just going to take his head off. Sorry, mate. It's looking a little bit overripe, but I'm hoping I can still get some decent pineapple out of this. Right, so the idea is that we put this right into the middle of our pineapple and give it a good twist. Then we should just be able to twist out some decent wedges of pineapple. Oh, yeah, that's so easy. Right down to the bottom, I think. It's hard to tell. Right, I think I'm down to the bottom. Let's see if I can pull this out. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, that got right down to the bottom. I'm going to need to trim that bottom bit off. But I have got rings of pineapple, and those have come out. Whee, there we go. That is really good. Perfect. Those are exactly what I'm after. So those rings are going to be too overripe to eat as they are, but they are going to go nicely into the cake that I want to do. Oh, there we go. And that takes out the very core of the pineapple, which should slide out. It should. It's so slippery. There we go. One pineapple core. There we go. This is quite a small pineapple, but I feel like for fairness' sake, I should just give the wedger a quick go. There we go. A wedge of pineapple, that does what it says. But I think that's better off on bigger pineapples. This is quite a small one, and I don't really want wedges, but it works. You clearly see that's going to work. It might even work on apples and things like that. In fact, I've got a small apple here. It might be too big, but I'm wondering if this will work on an apple. Oh, yes it will. It's not as natural as it would be if it was like a metal one, but that kind of worked. So you could use it in a pinch, but it's not really meant for apples. But still worked. Nice apple as well. So yeah, the pineapple slicer and wedger is actually pretty good. You can get like metal ones out there, which would probably be even quicker to go through, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that one. I went for the more affordable one, that's why it's plastic, but it worked really well still. So if you want something to get into your pineapples, if you're a lover of pineapple and you buy lots of them, then something like this is ideal. And now I've got my pineapple and my coconut, I can make my pineapple and coconut upside down cake, because even though this isn't a recipe video, I don't want these to go to waste. Right, I'm going to quickly beat together 4 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 250 grams of butter and 175 grams of caster sugar. Then into my cream together butter and sugar, I'm going to add in 3 eggs, one at a time. Then into that I'm adding 175 grams of self-raising flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. And combine that in. Then to thin out the batter a bit, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of milk, 1, 2, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavour. Combine that in too. And I'm going to throw in my grated coconut and just fold that all through my batter. Then I've put my pineapple rings into a large tin along with some nice glacé cherries, and then I'm going to pop my batter all over the top, or technically the bottom because it's upside down really. And spread that all out nice and evenly over the pineapple rings. Then that is going in the oven at 180 degrees for about 30-35 minutes. I will check on it in a bit. Right, while my cake's baking away in the oven, that gives me the opportunity to try out another gadget. Now, it's not the can opener that you probably saw in my hand there, but it is going to be a different can opener. Now, if you're like me and you struggle with these crappy can openers, this is one from IKEA. It's not very good. I've had it a few years now, and it's a bit fiddly and a bit awkward. So that's going to give me the opportunity to try out something new, and that is can opener. Automatic. So yeah, it's an automatic can opener that opens cans without using your hands, and that kind of rhymes. And it's a fairly generic one, it's not branded or anything. Again, I got it off of Amazon for pretty cheap, but I thought I wanted to try out a budget one first before I try out a fancier one maybe some other time. And yeah, the idea is that you pop it on the can, press the button, and it should open the can automatically, which would be great for either can-handed people like myself or people with disabilities who aren't able to open cans by themselves. So I'm going to crack this open, put some batteries in it, and then try it out, because I have a can of coconut milk here that I want to use later to go in a curry for my dinner, so I'm going to use it to open that, hopefully. Right, I've got my can of coconut milk here, and the idea is that I should just be able to pop this on like so. It's got batteries in it now, I made sure about that. And then I should just be able to press the button. And, oh, it's doing something. It's going round. Is it opening it though? That's the question. Certainly going round it, making a heck of a noise. Is it opening it? I can't tell. Oh, it looks like it. Oh, okay. How do we stop it? Stop. Stop. Behave. Ah, there we go. Well, it looks like it has certainly opened it. There we go. Wow. That's worked, well, pretty much seamlessly. There's a bit of a seam left. There we go. Wow. There we go, that actually worked a hell of a lot better than I thought it would for an unbranded, not that expensive can opener. So yeah, that's worked really, really well. Does exactly what it says on the tin. But what if you're in a position where you've got yourself a can with a ring pull on it, like many of them do these days? Now, you might accidentally go, oh no, I'm opening my can of chickpeas, but I'm an idiot and I've accidentally broken the ring pull off. What do you do then? Well, with any luck, and I hope this will work now because I want to use these chickpeas, is that I put on my automatic can opener, press the button, and around it goes. Hopefully it will work on this tin, even though it's got that little nubbin where the ring pull was. And I think that has worked again. Stop, stop, thank you. There we go. That has worked really cleanly that time, actually cleaner than the last one. So that works really well. I'm actually quite impressed with that, because for it being like an unbranded can opener that's probably been made in China, yep, made in China, it's actually really good, and it's worked really well. And if you do struggle with cans or are just a bit lazy like me, then that's really good, you know. So I can't fault that at all. It's done exactly what it said it would. So yeah, really happy with that. So now that I've got my can of chickpeas open and I've drained them, I want to use these to help me test out another gadget, and that is the Chef'N Veggie Chop hand-powered vegetable chopper. So it's exactly what you think it is. It's a vegetable chopper that you use your hands to power it and chop your vegetables. It's got a pull cord that you pull to then basically use the rotors, and it will chop up your veg. But I thought I'd put it to the test on a bit more than vegetables and see if I can use my chickpeas in it to create some hummus. So I thought that would be a really good way to do that, because it says on the side you can do it for like guacamole, salsa, pesto, chopped nuts, herbs and hummus. So that's what I'm going to try and do today and see if it's actually any good for that, because it could be useful if you're, say, out camping and you want to do a little bit of fancy cooking out there, maybe make some hummus. Why the heck not? You could take your powered can opener out with you on your camping trip, open up a can of chickpeas and make some hummus using your hand-powered vegetable chopper. Or can you? Let's see if it actually says what it does, or does what it says. That's what I meant. So here's the Chef'N Veggie Chop. It's a nice little size. It's got 3 blades in there, which is going to hopefully capture everything that's going to need chopping. And it's a nice little size. It's got this nice big handle here, so it's not a fiddly little thing that you're going to be able to basically pull around to work your rotors. And it's also got a lid with it, so if you do make anything in it, then you can pop this on and just store it in the fridge or wherever you want to keep it, but I imagine it will be the fridge. So it's actually a nice little thing. Chef'N do a lot of gadgets, but this is the first one that I've ever done by them, ever tried by them, and I'm actually looking forward to trying this, because it might be quite a nice way of doing vegetable chopping without having to get something out and plugging it in and then really like cleaning something really big. So this could be quite promising. So I've got my chickpeas and I'm going to put them in my little chopper and then give it a little tug. It's going to need quite a few tugs. It's a nice motion on it, nice backwards and forwards motion. It is chopping that up pretty well. It's a fair bit of work. It's a nice workout as well if you want a bit of workout while chopping your vegetables or your chickpeas or whatever you're going to chuck in this thing. Right, let's see how far that's got. That's actually chopped those up pretty well, but it's not fine enough for hummus yet, but that's fine because I'm going to chuck in some garlic with this. Let's see if it will chop that up as well. Right, see if it will chop up that garlic with it as well. Right, that's chopping it up pretty well. Might need to push some of this down because I think it's like missing some of the rotors down near the bottom. So I wouldn't overfill this if I were you. I've probably put too much in it, but I'm going to persevere. I'm going to add a glug of olive oil into this and some salt as well. Back on with the lid. Dear, that is a heck of a workout, but it is coming together. It is. That is starting to look more like hummus. So I'm just going to push that down a bit more and see if I can get the bits on the top and make this nice and smooth. Put a bit more olive oil in, a bit of smoked paprika I think. Back on with the lid. Hopefully this is going to be the last whiz of the whizzer. There. But that's a lot of work, but that has come together into almost like a hummus. Let's give it a quick taste. Oh, that's nice. Not quite smooth enough yet, but 90% there I would say. It's going to need a little bit more. Right, that's looking pretty smooth now. And I think that's our hummus. I'm going to get in with my finger because it's only me here, so don't worry about that. Well, that tastes good. Ooh. Well, it's a lot of work, but you can create hummus using the Chef'N Veggie Chop. So that's yeah, that works pretty well. So I imagine that's going to work pretty well on your standard vegetables. You could chuck in like green peppers there. Like I say, you could chuck in like avocado, onions, other bits and pieces to create guacamole. It's a handy little thing. It's quite good if you don't want to say like get out a really big food processor or something like that for something quick. Whether it's worthwhile for hummus, it does take longer because obviously it's just standing there, you know, tugging it over and over again. But it works and it does the job. And if you kind of want something like this, perhaps something low power, perhaps you're saving energy, perhaps you just don't always want to use your food processor or something like that, turning that on, or you just want something to take out with you on holiday or something like that, it could be good for that as well. So it's really good actually, it's really good quality, and I would recommend it if you want something like this. It's not going to be for everyone. It's a lot of work, I will say that. See what my heart rate's at. 76, coming down again now, but my resting heart rate is usually 56. So it's been a bit of a workout, but yeah, it's really good. Chef'N Veggie Chop. Thumbs up from me. Oh, think the cake's ready. The cake is indeed ready. That looks really nice and it smells really nice as well. So I'm going to leave that to cool down while I test out my final gadget. Now my last gadget you might have seen lurking in the background behind me because I've set up my camera in all sorts of angles and you probably caught a glimpse of it. And that is the Starfrit Rotato Express. And it does peels, that's a sentence, peels instantly at the push of a button potatoes, fruits and vegetables. So apparently you can use it for pommes, patates and concombres or something else. Oh no, that's the French side. Here we go. Apples, potatoes, cucumbers, lemons, turnips, kiwis, oranges, pears and zucchini or courgettes if you are from the UK like me. So apparently it's quite versatile. So yeah, the idea is that you pop it on, it will whiz it round and peel it for you in that handy dandy strip motion. So I'm going to give that a go today, right now in fact, because that's what I'm doing. So here is the Rotato Express. It looks like some sort of combination between a microscope, a record player and some sort of hideous torture device. But it is an intriguing device and it comes with a power supply, which I didn't think it would. I thought it would be battery powered, to be honest. So I'm going to get this plugged in. Whoa! That was on. Make sure your plug's off first before you plug it in. Yeah. Lucky it's only plastic, it's not particularly sharp or anything, it's just sharp enough to skewer a piece of fruit or a potato onto. Well, at least we know that it works. So the idea is that I think you have to adjust this up to fit your potato or fruit or whatever you're going to use. So I've got a couple of different types of potato, this is quite a large one. And can you lift this up? This might be too long for the Rotato press. Oh no, it's going to be just enough, so let's poke that in here, press it down and then skewer that in to the potato.
Potatoes!
Right, it's not the smoothest motion. Let's see if that works. So, my potato's on. Will it work? Oh! Look at that! Look at it go! Oh, that's really, really working. Whoa! Oh, I like this. Absolutely can't stand peeling potatoes, so this could be a godsend. And it stops automatically. That's fantastic. I like that. I like that a lot. Look at that. That's done it really well. You've still got some imperfections here, but you might just be able to set it back up to the top and see if it can go again. Off it goes again. This is also great if you want to make like thin, like spiral fries or something like that. That's really, really cool. I really like that. Done. There we go. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. Doesn't get the end here, but it's created a funky shaped potato. So yeah, I really like that. But I'm going to try it on a smaller potato now. So I'm going to get all of this out of the way and pop this much smaller potato onto the Rotato press. Bring this all the way down, see if we can get kind of skewered in the middle. And off we go. Oh, it's come out. I didn't skewer it in enough, but it's still going round, so it's okay. So even with user error and me not skewing that in, it still worked. It still peeled my potato. And it's quite good if you want kind of like ridgy potatoes as well. Look, it's got some cool ridges in it. So I like that a lot. It's not perfect at all, but if you hate peeling potatoes or you can't peel potatoes, if you aren't just dexterous enough, I mean, getting it onto there, that may not necessarily be easier than actually peeling a potato, but it's an option, that's for sure. and it's just really satisfying. Oh, and I've got slippery potato. I'm going to give this one more go with a little diddy apple. Does apples as well. That's cool, I like it. Like I say, it's not perfect, but for how much it cost, it really wasn't very expensive. It does a good job. It does a good job. I like it. I am a fan of that. So yeah, Rotato Press gets a thumbs up from me. Right, before we wrap this video up, let me see if my upside down cake has come out as an actual upside down cake. It's come away from the tin, so that's a good start. So I just need to get this. Is this going to be upside down or is this the right side up? This is going to be the right side up. So flip it over, try and peel away this. Ooh, a little bit of the sides come away, that's okay. Peel this away, and it looks like we've got ourselves a lovely pineapple upside down cake. Really, and it's still warm, and I think that's the best way to have one of these. So might have to cut myself a slice and give it a go. This isn't really the focus of the video, so I'm not going to stand around taking ages talking about this. I'm just going to give this a try because it smells really, really good. Really, really good. Oh yeah, that's really good. Pineapple's really good. It's lovely and warm, and it's like cake out the oven when it's just warm. I know you're not supposed to really, but it is really good. Tastes really nice, and it's just a hint of freshness and a little bit of that coconut in there, and that works really nicely. It's not overpowering or anything. Tastes really good. Really happy with that. But that's today's gadget testing video done with. I really enjoyed that one. That one was really good fun. I think all of those gadgets did exactly what they said they would. Some were better than others. The coconut tool was really, really fiddly. Getting into the coconut, it was completely useless, but it's not really meant for that. But taking away the meat from the outer shell, it actually worked. It's probably one of those things that you'll get better with practice, but it still worked. It allowed me to get that coconut out and put it into my cake. The pineapple corer and slicer, that worked really well. I really like that one. That's going to be really handy next time I get a pineapple and don't let it go too right. But that was really good, and again, allowed me to put my pineapple into my pineapple upside down cake. That's quite hard to say sometimes. Pineapple and coconut upside down cake is what I meant. And the can opener worked a lot better than I expected. Because it was like a non-branded, quite a cheap can opener, I didn't think it would be any good. They opened those two cans with ease, including the one where the ring pull I broke off deliberately. But if you accidentally break off a ring pull and you need a decent can opener, that'll do the job. And for people who have disabilities and aren't able to use a can opener the normal way, it's really good. I really liked it, and it was really quite cheap. I think I'll have to put the price up at some point in the video. And the Chef'N Veggie Chop, that was really good. It's a lot of work to make the hummus, but it did it. That was the main thing. You can do it, it is achievable. So I imagine doing that with other vegetables, trying to make guacamole and stuff like that. If you want to use that, take it away with you on holiday somewhere, especially if you're going camping or something like that and you still want to kind of make things while you're out camping, then that's going to be really handy. And it's also good if you just don't want to set up a full food processor for something maybe relatively quick. Wouldn't necessarily say do it for hummus every single time because it requires a lot of like arm action, but it was still really good and it worked, and that's the main thing. Do these things work? Yes, they do. And I really liked it, and I probably will use it again for like quick chopping of vegetables and things like that. And then lastly, of course, the Rotato Press, and I just really enjoyed that one. It was just really good fun. Whether it's going to be super practical for doing potatoes and things like that, could be if you've got a load and you want to try and do other things at the same time. Just set the Rotato Express, I keep calling it the Rotato Press, that's not what it's called. The Rotato Express, set that going while you're trying to do other things, and keep just doing your potatoes while you're trying to do other bits and pieces. Could be quite handy. Or if you want spiralized potato strings, really good for that. I really like that thing. I really enjoyed all of the gadgets. They were really, really good. Thumbs up for me for those. And that's it. That's it for this gadget testing video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. So if you did, give the video a like, thumbs up. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, then subscribe to the channel. Helps me build up like its presence on YouTube because I'm still only small. Well, physically I'm not small, but the channel's small. So if you do enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that usual stuff. Otherwise, I will see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. Take care. Bye. Just set the Rotato Press. Just set the